Greetings and welcome once again to legalizefreedom.com. Why are we here? Where do we come from? Where are we going? These are the eternal questions which have forever faced mankind and to which we still do not have answers. And that, my friends, is what this is all about. I'm your host, Greg Moffat, and my guest today is Helen Sewell. Helen is a fully qualified professional astrologer with 25 years experience. She first became interested in astrology through reading books on the sun signs when she was a teenager, and it was then that she realised there was a definite correlation between what she read and the characteristics she could recognise in the people she knew. As her astrological reading broadened, Liz Greene became her favourite author, and she then decided to take the opportunity to train under her guidance at the Centre for Psychological Astrology at Regents College in London. After 4 years, Helen attained the Diploma in Psychological Astrology and went on to set up a private practice. After meeting the author Jeff Stray in 2002 and reading his book Beyond 2012, Helen has been looking at the astrological significance of this time and has reached some very interesting conclusions. She's written and spoken about her findings and has given many interviews such as the one you're about to hear. In recent years, Helen has also become interested in the bigger cycles of the outer planets and how they affect individuals, countries and society at large. Her website is astrologicalinsights.co.uk. Hello and welcome, Helen, and thank you very much for joining us today on legalizefreedom.com.
That's a pleasure, Greg. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Excellent. Well, now we're here today to discuss astrology, your work as an astrologer, and we're going to talk a great deal about the astrology of 2012, a very significant time that we're at the heart of right now, and of course the key date in 2012, December the 21st, fast approaching. But before we get into all that, if we just assume that most of the people, if not all of the people listening to this, realise that when we say astrology, we're not talking about Russell Grant and Mystic Meg, and you're going to meet a tall dark stranger and the sort of thing that you get in the tabloid press. So we have that as a given. On your website, you talk about your approach as psychological astrology, and it seems that you came to astrology through psychology. So perhaps you could tell us about your introduction to astrology, your past before that, how you got to where you are now, and basically set out psychological astrology, what that is for us.
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, I think that my interest, I could pretty much trace it back to when I was 7 and my dad took me to Jodrell Bank, you know, the big radio telescope in Cheshire. And we went into the room and there I saw the whole universe and the solar system, and I was just blown away by it. I thought it was amazing. And I bought my Ladybird Book of the Stars. And I guess that was just a sort of a fascination in the planets dating back from then. But then when I got into my teenage years and I bought my Linda Goodman sun signs, and I began to realize that, I can really connect with this. So then I did various evening classes in my early 20s. And then and I used to start doing charts for family and friends and that kind of thing. And the more I studied it, the more I realized what an amazing tool it is. And then I thought my greatest author, if you like, is Liz Greene. And I read all of her books. She's a psychological astrologer, and I very much had a great big interest in the fact that, say, Carl Jung used astrology to give him insights into his patient's psyche. And to me, it did seem to be like the best map of the psyche that we've got. It gives the most incredible amount of information about each individual, which is represented by the moment that we are born, because every moment in time is reflected in the heavens. And so therefore you can draw a map of that moment and interpret it. So I then decided to do the 4-year diploma with Liz Greene and her school, the Centre for Psychological Astrology at Regents College in London. That was in about 2000. And then I qualified and set up my own practice. And then I met Jeff Stray, and he wrote the book Ecstasy, or what's it called? I've got the name of it now.
Oh, I was only looking at it the other day as well, but it's his 2012
yes,
expose.
Yeah, that's right. Beyond 2012.
Yeah, that's
is the title. Now, he wanted me to look at the chart for the 21st of December 2012. And this set me on quite a path. So this is about 6-7 years ago now. And I looked at it, and then I thought, yeah, this it says a lot, actually. It speaks a lot of these times that we're entering into. And then I decided to write an article about it. And then since then, I've done lots of talks to various groups, not all astrologers, just mundane groups, alternative groups, that kind of thing. And then it set me on a path. There's a branch of astrology called mundane astrology, which is looking at the charts of countries and events and things like that. And it was I found that the chart of England seems very tied in with the whole 2012 phenomenon, and that's why I centre in on that. And I think that we are going to be quite a significant player in the whole of this process of transformation that we're going through. And, you know, it wasn't, I don't think, a coincidence that when they were deciding who was going to host the Olympics, and the French were the, that's supposed to be the ones that were going to win, and we were not considered so highly at the time. And I looked at the chart and I thought, oh yeah, I think that we actually are going to be on the world stage this year.
Yes, well, we'll come on to the full kind of ramifications for this country, the UK, Great Britain, in due course. But those of us who were around at the time that the Olympic decision was announced will remember that the French champagne corks were virtually halfway out of the bottles, and it really did seem like a done deal. So it was quite a surprise. But as you say, with some foresight and certainly hindsight, it made a lot of sense in that context. You were saying about, with regards to birth charts, that each moment is unique with regards to the alignment in the heavens. I mean, or perhaps I'm making that up, but is each moment, as above, so below, completely unique? Each set of alignments, configurations, does it ever repeat, or is it possible for that to repeat?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, all the planets are orbiting around the sun at different speeds. So therefore, the probability of them all making an exact alignment, I would say, is so incredibly rare. I don't know, but I can't imagine it ever happening. Maybe once in a millennia or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Now, maybe this is just because I'm a man, but one of the things that interested me when I started to look at astrology was just to say, okay, we can see here, statistics show us that there is a tremendous correlation between, transits in the heavens and types of events that we can see taking place, and, and personality types and all sorts of things that we can map that suggest that something's going on. And the first thing I wanted to get into was like, what's happening here? How is this happening? Because we know that the moon, for example, exerts a physical influence on the Earth, through the tides. And it also seems to create changes within us that are well documented. I mean, in your 2012 article you referred to, you mentioned the fact that, we have full moons, we have crime rates going up, and asylums and hospitals reporting much more disruption. So, and I know you have said that you or no one else really understands the mechanism of how astrology works, but in the time since you first wrote that piece, which I think was in 2008, correct me if I'm wrong, are we any further forward? Has anyone, yourself or anyone else working in the field, been able to say any, even speculation, informed speculation about how the mechanisms of this might be functioning?
No, is the answer. I don't think we're remotely there yet, because that goes into the territory of looking at the interconnectedness of the universe, I believe. And it's almost like a system, and it's all kind of working together in harmony in some way. And I believe the ancients understood it better, and the way they assigned certain gods to certain planets is quite fascinating. I love that aspect of astrology, the myths, because they really help us in understanding our human dilemma, our human condition. But in terms of how astrology works, yeah, I don't know. Some people do think that there is something that is kind of beaming down, if you like, a bit like the way the moon draws the tides and affects water so much on our planet. In terms of the other planets, I don't know. I really don't know. Only through years and years and years of studying and seeing and experience of people and their charts is that there is such a strong correlation. It just can't be disputed, really.